Good evening, everyone there on Instagram. Good evening, everyone everywhere else. How are you? It's Mark Wilkinson here. We're going to do Life Remixed samples tonight, chapter 6. So I've got some absolute nuggets for you as we go through chapter 6 of Life Remixed. Evening, Gary. Hi, Dan. Nice to have you guys on board as well from Instagram over there. Hello to everyone else over here as well on StreamYard. Great to have you guys on board. Life Remixed, the book out in February. It's going to be exciting. The chapter 6, the title is You've Got to Be. Possibly named after a famous song. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's called You've Got to Be. It's basically about the changes in my life and when they really started to happen. So let me read a couple of quotes from the start of chapter 6 for you. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see." Very, very good. Very, very good. Muhammad Ali. If you want to take some advice, take it from the greatest. Hello, Chris. How are you, mate? If you want to take some advice from Muhammad Ali, it says he says it's the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. Once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. Now think about that for a minute. Muhammad Ali said, "I am the greatest," over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, he had some talent, but he definitely got out there and said, "I am the greatest." Yeah. And he became the greatest, you know. So there's something in this, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. There's something in this. Okay. The next quote is actually one from me. It says, "Design your life, rise above mediocrity, become a superior individual." You can all do this. Everyone can do it. It's about becoming a better version of yourself every single day. And that's the real buzz of life. Let's not look back in anger or forward in fear, but around us in awareness, is a beautiful quote from James Thurber. See things as you would have them instead of as they are, from Robert Collier. And listen to this one from Shannon Adler. "When you are joyful, when you say yes to life, have fun and project positivity all around you, you become a sun in the center of every constellation and people want to be near you." That's the truth. The happier people are, the more buzzy people are, people want to be around you. It's just as simple as that. So at the end of the day, it's for us. We're human beings. We've been given a mind. We've been given a body. And we have to go out and do something with it. And that's the important part, right? So those are the quotes to get us going into chapter 6. One of the things that a lot of self-development people said to me is that you are the creator. You are responsible for everything that's gone on in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, whether you think it's great or you think it's awful, you're responsible for all of it. And that, for me, was a real kind of game changer, because I was floating around thinking that life just happened and I got the odd DJ gig and it was all right and everything was cool and I was paying the bills and things were going all right. I thought, okay, well, everything's just, happening and I didn't really realize my role in it and how much I was responsible for all of the great things and all of the terrible things as well. And when someone said to me, "You are the creator and you need to choose to believe that you are the creator. You're not just some helpless little victim." But when you start to make some decisions and you start to take control of your life, that's when you can really become the creator and create things that you really, really enjoy. When your thoughts, your feelings, your actions are all in line, you are absolutely unstoppable. Just remember that you're not a victim in life. Don't choose to be a victim. That's what the whole of chapter 6 is about. And trust me, there's so much stuff in here. I've just picked out like some bullet points, but the bottom line is it's all in Life Remixed. You can pre-order as well if you go to markwilkinsonofficial.com/shop. It's all there. Thank you to those of you who have pre-ordered already. Love you. Life is happening for us and not to us. Yeah. Even difficult in these times, where we are at the moment in tier 4 here in London and the southeast. We have to believe that life is happening for us. So let's use the time wisely. It's not happening to us, and we can create good things even from here. Look, someone said to me the other day, "You're everywhere at the moment." And I laughed. I was like, "I haven't actually left my house." So, at the end of the day, I think it's important to understand that we are the creators and life is happening for us. Sometimes we have to look a little bit harder for things that we need to be grateful for. One of the big things I had to learn to be grateful for when I fell from a great height to nowhere and had no money, no income, 38 years of age, living in my mum's spare room, I had to start being grateful for food, clothing and shelter, and I got really, really grateful for those 3 basic human needs. I had my mum's place that I could stay in. Thank God she kept the house and I was able to live there. there was food in my belly, and I had clothes on my back. And those three things were enough for me to be able to start to look at my life in a totally different way and start to get really, really grateful for just positive things that were happening. One of the things that happened that I've read a lot of books, clearly, and a lot of books that have really uplifted me and put me into a positive place. And one of them is a great one from Bob Proctor, and he says, "You were born rich." And you only have to think about it. You were born rich. He also says that most people are just a little bit short of money. I mean, look, if you're born in the UK, you're probably in the top 10, 15% of wealthy people in the world, and some of us are moaning about different problems and things like that. I understand it. I do. First world problems. I love that hashtag on Twitter, first world problems. Waitrose has run out of quinoa. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I do get it. And we do have these kind of issues to face. If you're born in the UK or indeed in any of the Western countries, you're much better off than most of the people in the world. So we need to think about that. We're born rich. Let's be grateful for it. And then let's get out there and earn money. And I talk a lot about earning money later on in the book by adding value and giving service. Hi, Lewis. How you doing over there on Instagram? As we go through chapter 6, the whole thing is you're a human being. And for me, we're a spirit. I'm a spirit inside a human body. And so that I have to bring my spirit to everything, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my attitude. I bring it to whatever situation I'm doing, leaving everyone with an impression of increase. Basically, because what I've found is that givers gain. It's a really simple concept, but givers gain. The more you give and the better service you give, or the better time or quality time or anything else that you give, you will also receive. Yeah, you might not receive it straight back from that one person, but ultimately you give and then you receive. And as long as you do that on a universal scale, so just give energy all the time. Sometimes some people might not like it. I get a few trolls and stuff nowadays. That's okay. It's up to them. If they're not feeling it, that's all right. But whatever you're going to give out into the world, in the majority, you're going to receive back. And I think it's important to enjoy that and enjoy that process. You will have heard the quote, "Smile and the whole world smiles with you." Again, massively important, smile and the whole world smiles with you. This is a friendly universe. We can decide and choose. Like I said earlier, we make decisions and we can choose that this is a friendly universe. And that's what I had to do. I used to live in a hostile universe when I was younger, and I had to make the move. It led me to dark places. I had to move into the place where actually now I believe this is a completely friendly universe. And I think we all are here to help each other. And that's all I receive back, because that's what I believe. When I was down and really down, and I could have been homeless. I mean, let's not beat about the bush. I could have ended up like sleeping on friends' sofas, or worse still, even like under a bridge or something. I lost all my money. I had nothing. I was out of work, DJ. Things were tough. But one of my friends had said to me, "Go and volunteer for Crisis at Christmas." Now, I haven't done it for a few years, I have to admit. However, I did do it for 3 years on the trot, and I did it with a good friend of mine, Martin, who may well watch this. But Martin is a top fella, and he gives his time every single Christmas to Crisis at Christmas. And I did it for 3 years, and it was a wonderful experience. I helped a lot of people. I did positive things. But most of all, I learned that I was very, very fortunate. And we are all very, very fortunate. When you see what can happen to a human being without the support of a family unit, that becomes very, very real. So I think we have to be grateful. We just have to, we have to choose to be in a positive vibration as best we can, as often as we can. As I've said, responsibility is the key to freedom. I've said it many times. People used to say it to me a lot. I'll be honest with you. When I started to hear responsibility is the key to freedom, I didn't like it. And I was like, I'm not really sure about this. I'd spent my life trying to avoid a lot of responsibility, being a DJ and doing all that kind of stuff. And I thought I was, getting away with it. And actually what I discovered was that isn't living. That isn't living at all. That's surviving. But responsibility being the key to freedom, it means you can actually start to live and enjoy your life. Take responsibility for what's going on. I had to take responsibility for everything. The really bad stuff as well as the really good stuff. And by the way, it's only good or bad if you think it's so. You know, we have a thing in this country that bankruptcy is bad. In America, they don't look at it like that. They actually look at it like as a badge of honor, where you say, okay, I've recovered, and this is how I'm going to do it better next time. So there's different perceptions, isn't there, of everything. But as I said, I wasn't convinced, and I found it very hard to let go of the story. Being a young guy, I found it very hard to let go of the story of why it was everyone else's fault and not mine. That was tough, and I put plenty of stuff in chapter 6 about this, where I had to wise up. I had to wise up and say, no, I want success. I want to be a positive person. I want to be married. I want to do good things in the world. I need to step up. I need to be responsible for everything. There's a great one about the stories. You know, the stories. We all have a story. We all have a story. It's how much credence we give to it and how much we hold on to it. You can have results or excuses, but not both. Just remember that. We can have results or excuses, but not both. Really important. I used to have a lot of excuses. Now I get a lot of results. So that's a good thing. Just remember as well, you know, as you're moving forward, if you're struggling to be in the present moment and enjoy the happiness and the gratitude and everything else, just the easiest way to do it, if you're still stuck with some stuff from the past, is just forgive everyone everything. Massively important. Forgive everyone everything. It is absolutely freeing. It's wonderful. It's not for them, by the way. If someone's wronged you, in your opinion, then you don't have to like forgive them and be all nice to them, but just forgive them for yourself, for your own knowledge, for your own sanity, for your own well-being. Forgive them, move on. You don't have to be friends with them anymore if you don't want or anything like that, but just, you know, give a real forgiveness to everyone. People are just doing the best they can with the information they have right now, and that's so important to get your head around that. It's, again, it's massively freeing information. Be present and get grateful. We were talking earlier, I was talking with a friend of mine, Tatty, and we were talking about forgiveness, acceptance, and gratitude, or FAG, as he calls it. I don't think I'd be using that pseudonym, but the point is that, you know, the information is out there, and those are really good things to do. And as we go through chapter 6, these are all important points that I learned and then studied, and there's a lot of action steps in the book for you as well. So as you read through it, I'll be telling my story, but I'll also be getting you guys to take action. We are looking at doing a workbook as well, which could be really, really exciting as well, just to help as many people as possible. I love this quote from Napoleon. It's attributed to Napoleon anyway. It says, circumstances. What are circumstances? I create circumstances. And I like that. You know, I now for the last 12 years, since all the shit hit the fan, I now create all my own circumstances. You know, my circumstances are going around me on my creation, and they're good. Yeah. And it's not luck. A lot of people say, oh, you're lucky. No, it's not luck. You know, if you think it's luck, then you're going to be in that victim mentality, thinking, well, I could be unlucky and it could be taken away. At the end of the day, it's not luck, it's decision, and all of these strategies that I'm talking to you about, and you can take action yourselves as we go through. Just remember, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. That's massively important information. When the student is ready, the teacher will be there. And I wasn't ready to hear this kind of information until at least my mid-30s. Once I started to get my head around it in my mid-30s, I could start to make changes. And they were gradual, and I've just changed and changed and changed. But I reached out, I got coaches, I got so many people. I got Equilibrium and Lewis Senior as a coach. I've got Kevin Green as a coach. I've got Dave Hompers as a nutritional coach. I've got Joe Moriarty at the gym. I've got loads of coaches all around me, and they're just there to keep me going, keep me on track, keep me moving. It's so important. I started to read Think and Grow Rich around this time. Napoleon Hill's dedicated 25 years of his life to writing that book, and he studied 500 millionaires and put all the information into Think and Grow Rich. Do you think there'll be something in there that would be really good for you to read? I think so. I thought so. And I was like, I'm going to read Think and Grow Rich. I'm just going to do what Bob Proctor told me to do, which is read it over and over and over again. I'm going to keep reading it until the information goes into my subconscious. And I'm just going to keep reading it. And that's all I did. And one of the things that came out of it, I mean, so many things came out of Think and Grow Rich as a book, but one of the things that really came out of it, he studied these 500 millionaires for 25 years. And then he says about the positive and negative emotions. And he says, if you live in the positive emotions, you're going to be in a much more creative state. So I said to myself, right, if I choose to live in these 7 positive emotions and no negative emotions, so no fear, no anger, no jealousy, no hatred, no greed, the list goes on, none of that, yeah, but these 7, just listen to these 7: love, hope, desire, enthusiasm, romance, sex, and faith. Those 7. Say it again. Just imagine your life if you chose to live in these 7 emotions all the time. So that's love, hope, desire, enthusiasm, romance, sex, and faith. How great would your life be? So I had nothing. I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to go with. I just thought, right, I'll try it. If these 500 millionaires say that if you live in those 7 emotions and you're going to be in a positive place, I am going to follow that advice and I'm going to do it. And again, if you go back to the start of the chapter we were talking about here, decision. I decided, I said, that's it. I'm not living like this anymore. I'm going to live like this. And I'm going to read these books. I'm going to study this information. And I chose to live in those 7 positive emotions. I'll say them again one more time because I love them. Love, hope, desire, enthusiasm, romance, sex, and faith. If you've got those 7 locked down, don't go anywhere else. Stay in those 7 emotions at all times. So important. What I thought to myself at the time was, if I live in those 7 positive emotions, will I get everything that I ever wanted? And we'll come on to goal setting and some of the things I did and some of the things I'm going to get you guys to do when you read Life Remixed. The point is that I just kept going and I kept believing, and I did end up with everything I ever want. And I continue to follow that process and I keep getting everything that I ever desire. All the things I like, it's all perfect and it's there. My business coach, Kevin Green, says, always become the observer. Brilliant advice. Always become the observer. And that basically means in business, but that also means becoming the observer of your own emotions and your own health. It's so important to get that right. Hi, Bernadette. Listening and enjoying your broadcast from Twickenham. Thanks, Bernadette. Lovely to have you here. Hi, Ariane. It's lovely to have you here as well. Yeah, look, it's nearly Christmas. It's nearly Christmas. We'll be picking up again, obviously, when we get into the new year. But there's some great information here. I'll probably review chapter 6 again because there's so much as I go into this. This is when most of the changes were happening and things were starting to get much, much better by living in those positives all the time. As I said, Kevin always says, always become the observer. I observed my emotions and I got myself into a better place. And that is powerful. I was no longer a victim. I became the creator and I was aware of being the creator. And I always got myself to the best place that I possibly could. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate that. It's nice to get that feedback there, mate. So I got into manifestation. I got into manifesting things. I used to think about things and they'd come into my life. So I'd think about, I don't know, a little bit of money and it would turn up. I'd think about having a coffee. It would turn up. I'd think about having 3 meals a day. I think about starting to train for a marathon. I think. And the more I thought about things, the more I felt good about them and the more they turned up in my life. And that was massive because I started to learn about manifestation. Hey, Dean, how you doing, mate? Great to have you on board. Yeah, I'm doing great, mate. I'm doing great. We're just reviewing Life Remixed chapter 6 here. The book's out in February, so that's exciting. But just remember, manifestation is so important. You must think about and bring about all the things you would like to manifest in your life. Monitor your thinking. Yeah. Some people will say to you that seeing is believing. Okay. Not true. Okay. Or let me put it another way. It is true. Seeing is believing. But what's happening when someone says that to you, they're robbing you of your opportunity in the creative process. Let me put it a different way to you. If I put it a different way to you, that believing is seeing. Okay. Believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. If someone says seeing is believing to you, it's usually, I'll believe that when I see it. It's usually like they're a challenge to you or a negative to you about your dream or something you're trying to achieve. Just remember it this way round. Believing is seeing. Start to get into visualization, start to think about positive things, and then start to believe that you deserve them and they'll come into your life. I promise you that. Believing is seeing. So important. So important. And there's exercises throughout the book as we go. One of the things we get at the moment is the news and all the negativity and everything else is people are just focusing on what they don't want. We are obsessed with things that we don't want. We're obsessed with the border being closed. We're obsessed with the news. We're obsessed with, unfortunately people dying and stuff like that. We're obsessed with this stuff, Yeah, best advice I can give to you is stop focusing on what you don't want and start focusing on the things that you do want, or the things that you would like to come into your life. And it may take 3 months, it may take 6 months, it may take 6 years, it may take however many years it takes. But you've got to get into believing is seeing, and you've got to start attracting those things to you. It's so important, I promise you. It's worked for me, it will work for you. I know that because I've seen it work for hundreds of people. So purpose, vision, and goals. We talk about that a lot, and we'll talk more about a sense of purpose, I believe, in the next chapter. But I've got these mantras, and mantras and visualization, so affirmations and visualization are things that will change your life. But it's the power of you saying words. If you have a thought, okay, and then you say the words, if you think about it, you can feel vibration when you speak. You can feel vibration in your voice box, and the vibration goes all the way through your body. So if you're down and saying negative things and feeling bad, that vibration will go down, okay, into your body, okay? Do your best to think positively, feel good, and talk positive words. Those words become your reality. So I've got affirmations. You can go onto the Mark Wilkinson official site. There's a load of free downloads there. Go and grab yourself some and download some of those free PDFs, because they contain mantras, they contain various things, and they are just there for you guys to get a balanced life. Have a look at them, because it works for me. It will work for you, like I said. So I say things like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm happy. I'm so grateful now that I'm loved and loving. I'm so grateful now, happy and grateful now I'm healthy. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. I said earlier, I live in a friendly universe. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have multiple sources of income. I'm so happy and grateful now that money works for me. I'm so happy and grateful now I live in a world of opportunities. I just said this stuff over and over and over again. And I've got news for you. I used to say it when I had nothing. I said it over and over and over again. I'd say it to myself. I'd look in the mirror. I'd look at my phone or whatever, and I'd be saying these things to myself. And I just kept committing to them. If I went out for a run or a bike ride, I'd just say them over and over and over again. So happy and grateful now that I live in a world of opportunities. And now I do. I live in a world of opportunities. And it can be the same for all of you. Any one of you. This can help. Okay. So you must use the mantras in the now. And think about the Muhammad Ali quote at the start. As I said to you, he said, I am the greatest, over and over and over again. Now, clearly he had talent, but he would not have had enough without the belief. So just remember that. Believing is seeing. Believe, believe, believe. Okay. There's a great quote as well about ask better questions and get better answers. So ask yourself better questions and you will get better answers. So important. Okay. Most of us don't ask ourselves many questions because it makes us feel a bit uncomfortable. But I had to really think about this and say, well, hang on a minute. What is it about me that's caused these problems? What is it about me that's I've had to take responsibility for this? Yeah. So important to ask yourself better questions. You'll get better answers. One of the things that came up to me when I started to think about it was, what is love? What is love? Most people ask the people this when I'm talking to them in coaching and stuff like that, and many people can't answer it. But actually, what is love? Take your time. You can come back to me anytime, but most people can't articulate it. I just say it's a feeling, or I feel good, or whatever it is. But actually, I've got my own breakdown of it, and I'll share it with you later on as we go through the book. But the bottom line is if you can't articulate something or you can't visualize something, you're going to struggle to explain it. You're going to struggle then to be able to work with it. So a great question I ask myself is, what is love? So interesting stuff, right? But we'll get into that in more detail. So the remix opportunities at the end of chapter 6. These are just bullet points that I do, but these are opportunities for you, for me, for everyone, just to remix our lives a little bit better, just to be a little bit more uplifting next time round. Yeah. So 1, gratitude is the start of all mental recovery. It is true. An attitude of gratitude will balance you out mentally. So start by writing down 10 things to be grateful for. You can send them to me every day. I'd love to read them. Gratitude is the start of all mental recovery. Okay. It was for me, can be for everyone. Works for everyone. Responsibility is the key to freedom. As I've said many times, it's important Take responsibility for everything, and then you will be free and you'll feel great. Here's another one. We make our own circumstances, and we do. Stop the story. Stop repeating, oh, well, he said, she said, mum did this, dad did this, it didn't work out for me, all this kind of stuff. No. We make our own circumstances. We make our own life, okay? Be responsible for it and make it bloody good, okay? Make it as good as you possibly can, all right? Okay? Always become the observer is a remix opportunity. Beauty from Kevin Green. Love that from him. Always become the observer. Observe yourself, observe other people, observe what is happening, and then make your decisions and go for it. Okay. Believing is seeing, as I've said already. Forget about seeing is believing. People are trying to rob you of your ability in the creative process. Believing is seeing. Start believing that you deserve it, that is good for you, and you can do this. All right. And the last one for chapter 6, you got to be is the title, is fake it till you make it. Now, you might have heard that many times before, but I can sit here now and say to you, you know, oh, this has happened, isn't it great, etc., etc. But trust me, I was doing this stuff 12 years ago or so. This is when I started really going for it. I had nothing to lose. I said, fine, you teach me, I'll listen, I'll do it. But it did feel like bullshit. It did feel like, well, I'm saying all these things to myself, but it's not true. I've got no money. I'm living in my mum's spare room. Everything's difficult. What's going on? Life's a nightmare. No, I had to fake it till I made it. And I just did that. I just kept making myself feel good. And I brought myself back to those 7 positive emotions that I mentioned earlier from Think and Grow Rich. 500 millionaires over 25 years. They all told Napoleon Hill the same stuff. Stay in those 7 positive emotions. And these are millionaires. These are cash-rich people who've done amazing things. Henry Ford, who wrapped the world in motor cars. People that have done incredible things for many people. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you have to fake it till you make it. And let me ask you this. What have you got to lose? You've got nothing to lose, have you? You've got nothing to lose. Try it. Try it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Get positive. Feel good. And life will be amazing. I promise you. Right, that's it for tonight. That's chapter 6. Those are the remix opportunities. Life Remixed, you can go to liferemixed.co.uk or markwilkinsonofficial.com/shop. And you can pre-order the book. It's out in February. We're going to have some calendars that are going up shortly as well. So that's going to be great. They're going to be available in the next week or so. I've got Lorraine Hahn with me tomorrow night from CNN and CNBC. I mean, yeah. I'm up there with some big players now. It's going to be excellent interviewing Lorraine. She is a wonderful soul, a really spiritual, lovely person, lovely woman. And she's got some great advice for people, particularly people about moving outside of comfort zones. Imagine yourself sitting in front of Henry Kissinger, Tiger Woods, Elton John, and having to ask them questions and actually present on a worldwide basis on a news channel. That would put you right outside your comfort zone, and that's where Lorraine found herself, and her story is fascinating. So tomorrow evening at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to be on YouTube, and we'll be sharing that all around with everyone from the YouTube channel. Lorraine's interview will be up there tomorrow evening at 7:30, and then that's it for Christmas. That's it. We're done. It's been absolutely wonderful going all through these chapters. We've got up to chapter 16, chapter 6, I should say. We've got up to chapter 14 to do. So we'll be back every week after Christmas. I may well pop up on the usual schedule between Christmas and New Year as well. I'm going to do a DJ mix on Christmas Eve. So if you'd like to find my Mixcloud, mixcloud.com/MarkWilkinsonOfficial. Be doing a little Christmas Eve DJ mix. That'd be lovely to have your company there while I play some tunes for you. But apart from that, I've got nothing but love for you. Chris says, outstanding. Merry Christmas to you all and your family. And to you, Chris. I really, really appreciate you being here. Have a jolly Christmas. Yes, thank you so much. I've got nothing but love for all of you. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Get on those Zoom calls with family, keep in touch with people. We can all do the real swapping of gifts and everything when we can all see each other again fully. So as I say, nothing but love. Watch the videos back. I'm here for you. If you need me, give me a shout. Nice one. Thank you.